Fine. Here it is. Meeting
Who's
has been
seconding?
called to order, and
Thank you.
yep, very good. All right, we'll start with approving the minutes from last meeting. Have we all had a chance to look at them?
I did.
Any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Nope.
All right. We'll make it easy though. All in favor of its approval? Oh,
Aye.
you know what? I jumped the gun here. Motion to approve.
There you go.
Yeah.
A second.
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Jason,
Okay, now-
take it.
I won.
You
Yeah.
won.
You guys are fighting over such scraps. I'm telling you. It's,
It's the fun stuff.
whoever wants second, you can put down. Actually,
Jason-
Robin's the one with
Jason gets
power.
it.
Right. Okay, Jason gets it.
I
Robin's the one
try to
with the
be
power.
very fair. Who I
Thank
hear
you, Robin.
first.
Thank you,
All
Robin.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. Nobody opposed. We'll move on here. Moving on. Treasurer's report is next on the list. Jason?
Sure. So we have, in case anyone is not aware, we do have two separate accounts with two separate balances. So hold on, I'm pulling those up right now. Is it doing this? It's just 1 second.
You know what
Sorry,
I
guys.
just realized, Jason? I could even have that screen grab just put into the minutes, so that way it's easy. Is that
Oh, that's fine.
okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
So balance of one account is $12,844.53. Our second account has a balance of $15,826.59.
Very good. So we haven't had any anything from RFK as of recently. Just for the record, Glenn Rink reached out to me and made sure we were all set with the SEC and all that. And he said there may be more money coming in, but he just said, you know what to do when the time comes. And Jason, that's something you and I should go over as to how that all works. Basically, the party sends us X amount of dollars and we send back to them 90% of it. It's pretty simple stuff. And we have an ACH set up there with the bank. So it doesn't even, technically it's not even a wire. But it does work out pretty well there.
Just one point of note is that I will be this weekend creating a spreadsheet that will track all of our expenses, and that'll be shared within the drive as well. So that way we have a list of expenses and expected dates for those expenses to be drawn from the account on a monthly basis.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Any other questions for Jason or me or anybody else regarding money?
I know I've asked this before, but are either of these accounts the earmarked one for Reg Drive? Or do we have a certain amount that's earmarked for Reg Drive?
We have a certain amount that's earmarked. One of them is technically an SEC account, and any money coming from that RFK agreement has to go into that account. It was
Right. But that stuff isn't earmarked for anything. The only thing that we have as far as those two accounts that we can't spend on whatever we want would be whatever's earmarked for the registration drive.
that is correct.
Do we have that captured somewhere? Like, how are we tracking what amount is actually earmarked?
It does
Ba-
say it in each of the account entries for the most part. Like if somebody writes a check, like it'll say Reg Drive
Right.
on like for the note section. Jason, I think is that something that could be added to that spreadsheet too, just like to kind of a
Yeah,
column to indicate where it's earmarked for?
Yeah, I could do that.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
To make it easier on you too, we are required to give Scott Callas 50% of that money he raises, and pretty much nearly all of the money we've raised for the registration drive came from Cole House.
Yeah.
So that's an easy way to kind of pinpoint it. We don't get a lot, if any, that is earmarked for a registration drive that did not come from Scott. So that's one way of kind of looking at it. There might be some little bits and pieces here, but not much.
Okay.
All right. Very good. All right. Fundraising and registration update. So a few months ago, I asked for quotes from both Jim Tracy, who has done work for us before, and from Stavros Mendros. What would it take for you to go out and get some registrations on our behalf? And simply put, Jim will do it for about $10 a registration. Starbucks will do it for about 15 a registration, which means if we earmark 10 grand for our registration drive, which I should believe this should be this summer, that should be, I mean, Jim's gonna come up with 1,000, Starbucks is gonna come up with 600. And considering how we've worked with Jim before and it's been worked relatively well, I think we just should go with Jim. That's
Okay.
my recommendation.
I would agree with that.
I have no objections with that, but I would say that we should, this weekend, once I get this organized and we understand how much is earmarked to what, that will give us a more accurate idea of what funds we actually do have available to spend. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that we still have a good amount of money left in the treasury, so that way if there are any unexpected expenses, we do have funds available.
Right. If memory serves, Jason, he raised about, I think it's about 9,700. So I mean, I think we can bump that up to an even 10 grand for the drive. We don't
Okay.
have to vote on it today, but and I agree, Jason should kind of review the numbers. I believe we should vote on this by next meeting at the latest, so we can get a plan going. I like to reach out to Jim to say that's what we decided to do, and
We
that'll give him
could do
some
this
time.
as now that we know more of the details, Jim, and then if Jason's able to update us, then we could do an email motion too, if you felt like we needed to do it before next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I could, yes.
Yeah.
Jim, can you just go over what I want to put the quotes, like what the quotes were in the minutes. Can you just remind me of what those are?
Yes, and I'll be glad to forward the emails from Jim and from Stavros about that. Jim quoted $10 per registration. Stavros quoted $15 per registration. And they said each send me emails that they'll for 10 grand, that'll get you 10,000 from, or excuse me, 1,000 registrants from Jim and 600 registrants from Stavros.
So what did we decide to do? We're waiting to vote on it.
Well, if Jason wants to go through the numbers and kind of pinpoint and make sure, and a
Oh,
second,
okay, that's
and
what we said. Yep. Okay.
Jason needs to put a second pair of eyes on this to make sure
Okay.
everything is there. I'm going by memory here. I believe that Scott has raised $9,700 for this.
I think that sounds right to me too, Jim. Somewhere.
Yep. But
So
but
I'll
I
put
but
I
I
mean, are
believe
we
Jason.
under some sort of pressure to get this done right now, or?
No, not right now. I think, you know, with summer coming up, that usually is a better time to get it done. We did promise the people who were raising the money that we would get this done. So I'd like to
Okay.
get this done this year. And you know,
Oh, I
the
mean,
nice
I'm talking like a couple of days. I mean, when
Oh,
Jason's
no.
done running his stuff.
negative. No,
Okay.
no. I like to, you know, maybe a week or two. It depends on how quickly Jason wants to act on this and look over things. You did say, Jason, you wanted to go over the expenditures and everything else this weekend, right?
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's all there. I mean, if he is earmarked for half of 10,000, that still gives us 20,000 in the, well, $22,000 in the clear. So it shouldn't be an issue, but it should take me maybe an hour this weekend to get it all squared away.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't checked the mailbox in quite some time. There may be a couple other checks waiting for us right there. I need to go check
Okay.
that. I got to go up to Aroostook County tomorrow. I'll check it by Friday
So should we
this
make
is-
a
in case we get some more money. Could
should
be
we
some-
make a motion to table this then, and then pick it up later via email, a vote?
Yeah,
Something
I mean,
along this.
Well, Joe, make that motion.
Well, I need to make sure I'm doing it right because I
Okay.
usually do these wrong.
No, you don't.
No, I
No,
do.
you don't. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm suggesting that, or I'm proposing that we table this issue until a review has been done. We'll say no longer than 2 weeks, and we'll address it in an email vote.
Second.
Can I do that?
You'll
Yeah.
make that
That sounded
move,
right.
move accordingly, Joe.
All right. I'd like to move that we table this and we give it a 2-week limit to get the numbers reviewed and have Jason run his stuff. And then we will vote on it within that 2-week time to approve the motion, to follow through with signing these guys to do the fundraising. Hey, Sounds like a motion.
Nice.
That,
Thank you.
yes,
Thank you.
I recognize, yes, that
Thank you.
motion there.
Thank you. That's a good one.
Dan, do you want to second that?
Yeah.
All right.
He
Well,
hates it. Look at him. He's
well,
thinking, God, why can't
I'm
Petrosi
looking
just
at-
get his stuff together
No,
and
I'm
give me a
watching-
decent motion?
I'm watching Robin type it out.
I know. I
I
was
knew
trying
that's
not
what you were
to. I
doing.
felt so
Yeah,
bad.
that's okay. It's okay. Just trying to get our stuff right. That's
I
okay.
try to like, to figure out how to translate it.
Honestly, Robin,
Joey's,
I,
you know.
I,
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this?
No,
oh,
not for me.
No.
All right, the question is called then. All in favor?
Hi.
I,
Any opposed? Anybody abstaining? Okay, we'll do that. Thanks, guys. All right, and I think that's all I have for now. Let's move on to the homeschool conference.
I went on Friday and it was really an interesting setup. It, it was very kind of scheduled, so there was very limited time that people were sort of at the tables, and there really weren't that many people. I was assuming Saturday would be better. I really spoke with one person. Oh gosh, what was his name now? I wrote it down.
Dale something.
Um,
no, Dyer.
Wasn't
Dyer, Brad Dyer.
Yeah.
So he's a pretty like substantial businessman in Franklin County. Owns like a lot of stuff, and so he lives in Carthage. Was what's the word I'm looking for? He was approached by the Republicans for to run for some position in that area, and he said, "If I'm going to run as a Libertarian." And they said they weren't interested. So we sort of we talked for over an hour. It was a really great conversation. I think he's been a Libertarian for a long time. Jim, do you know that name at all?
Say that name again.
Brad Dyer.
You know, 1 in 5 people in Maine are named Brad Dyer. So
Right, yeah.
yeah.
And he's
yeah.
not on the list. So he said that he is like I don't know if he was a party, like a member of the party, or he is a registered member. I looked him up on MailChimp and he's not in our email. So I will sort of add him to that. But anyway, so we had a really good conversation. And so I am going to reach out to him and look to see if he has any interest in sort of getting involved. But
Awesome.
yeah.
Car-
And that
car-
was really like the only person that I talked to, other than my friend who signed the sheet to sign up. And I've been trying to get her to do that for years. So
we were a little bit more successful, I guess. We were there for when we leave, like 1, something like that.
Yeah, like 9 to 1.
Yeah. We had probably a dozen people stop by and talk with us. We had 3 or 4 people sign up on the email list, and we touched base with Heidi Sampson, a former representative for Alfred, Waterboro, and Lyman. She was very pleased to boast about how y'all endorsed her back in the day. And then she moved along.
I was encouraged. It seemed like a lot of the people that walked by were, there for more of the homeschooling stuff, but they seemed very appreciative for the presence there. Like they're like, it's good that you guys are here, that type of thing. So that was interesting. I didn't necessarily expect that, but I think the ones that understood what libertarianism is knew why we would be there. So it made sense.
I am opening up our state list of registered libertarians from 2018. I'm going to look up Dyer, but let me put that on the back burner because it's going to take a while to open up and get back to business here. Hold on 1 second. I just need to pull that up.
Well, thank you guys for going.
Yeah, most importantly.
Yeah.
I mean, just having eyes on, the brand and human beings next to it is
Yep.
a significant thing.
Mm-hmm.
So altogether, you talked to how many people?
Like a dozen.
All right. Just out of curiosity, I'm just going to search Dyer just real quickly. Dyer.
I think it's DYAR. I have his business card somewhere. I'm not sure.
Jonathan Dyer in Belgrade. Yep, Brad Dyer, Carthage.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, he was, at least he was registered back in 18. So, okay. That was just to satisfy my own little curiosity right there, but I'm always game for that. Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Strategic planning,
Sideline calls.
sideline calls. I jumped over myself here. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll touch on that a little briefly here. As you all know, we had an issue with our sideline account, and basically after complaining to them, the silent people caught it and said, "Whoops, this actually should be live, and let's get you your emails back." And I found one email from, excuse me, voicemail, not email, voicemail from the day before. The phone line was live enough for George to get through, which was great. And I spoke with one gentleman from the Waterville area who was looking to run as an independent, but possibly a libertarian. And I believe Kate sent out some information to him. His name escapes me right now.
Yeah, I have that. I never heard back from him. So,
Right.
anyway.
Yeah. I also spoke with a Husson student, a who had this idea. She just wanted to share this idea here. She's a trans woman that says, "Hey, I have an idea on how to tackle this whole uh, kerfuffle about having trans in sports. Why don't they just have a boys team, a girls team, and a co-ed team?" And I called her back, and there's out as a boy he ran with the Mount Ararat track team. But I said it's an interesting idea, but the bottom line is I don't think there's going to be enough people to make a co-ed team. I mean, we barely have
And
enough
I mean,
book.
that's been floated. That concept has been floated a lot lately. It was
Yeah.
like one of the rallying points they were trying to make to come up with some sort of concession.
Right, right. But and you know, we agreed, but I think more importantly, and I have her information, she's interested in possibly getting something going in on the Husson campus, and that's my territory, so I can, you know, at least reach out and give her a call. But that's one of like 4 or 5 calls we took since this sideline thing went live. And it's just good to have a presence again, to have a number there if someone just looks us up and can call. I know I have an app. I know Kate has the app. Who else has the sideline app? Anybody else?
I think it's just been you and I, honestly. I think some of it was just that, just to keep it like only two, like if too many hands in the pot kind of situation. It's just, I don't know. I think that was what I remember Harrison kind of mentioning, like that only he and Jeremy had access to it. So I
Right.
think that's just how it's been.
It's not like we're getting inundated.
Right.
Honestly, I could share it with everybody or not. I mean, everybody, I don't have a preference one way or the other, but I'll leave it up to you guys.
Honestly, I think the chair and vice chair should be the ones that have it. As far as the rest of us, I mean, I think that we would open it up if things start getting crazy. But I think that, like, you know, having only 2 people be on our end of things, it's pretty easy to collaborate, and that way, like, lines aren't getting crossed. Like, who talked to that person? You know, we know it's just one of the 2 of you.
Right.
Also,
Yep.
considering that the vice chairs, one of their main duties is outreach. So I think that's perfect.
Very good. Okay. Everybody else agree? We'll talk, we'll look at it kind of month to month. It's probably the best thing to do. Assuming we, you know, whatever calls we get.
I will say what we should do though, like, is if there's something specific to the region, I would divert the phone call to the appropriate person, like, because if it is something like, hey, I want to get involved in the region, then of course that should be like, you know, Dane or
Right,
Joe
right.
or yeah.
For
So I
example,
think
if Mr. Bean calls, I'll make sure that that Dane calls him back.
Right.
Yep, that kind of thing.
yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Thanks for that. Okay, now to strategic planning.
So
That's Joe and Jason.
Want to go first?
Actually, I think you go first.
Okay.
Well, I'm responding to what you're going to say.
All right. So
That's how I'm
analytics-
excusing it.
the data analytics portion, the trial, well, has been completed. So we have a operating running code that analyzes some free data and then creates some of that demographic profiles that we talked about. As of right now, it is not visualized. So basically it just creates like an Excel spreadsheet and gives you a bunch of information that broken out by county. The next step would be to visualize it. So that may be a bit of a longer conversation. I will send an email out to the group to schedule some time to determine what kind of visualizations we want and how everyone wants to be able to access it. So normally I would put something like this into something called Power BI, but Power BI is limited in terms of the free version. So there are some like third party free versions that do similar visualizations, but I just want to figure out like who would want access to this. So that way I can maybe create an account to one of these programs and just everybody can use the same account, so on and so forth. But all the coding has actually been done. So that is ready to run whenever we want to test it out and see how you guys like it.
That's awesome.
Jason, could you bring George up to speed as to what you're doing here? Because it's pretty cool, to say the least.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, George. So,
yeah.
and I didn't introduce myself when the call first started. So I'm Jason Matafa. I am the treasurer for the party. Outside of politics, I work as a data scientist. So I do a lot of coding language and data analysis. So what I did was I was able to get some data, so basically political data, ages, demographics, male versus female, registered versus unregistered, party affiliation, all that kind of stuff. And then basically create a custom code that reads all that data and then breaks it out by county. On top of that, I was able to layer some free data that a company called Pew Research creates. So Pew Research is very well known in political space. They do a lot of like surveying and questioning on political topics. They do have some free stuff that they'll give out, and that's organized by state. So I took that free data that they provide and overlaid that with that same demographic data to basically say, okay, if someone is pro Second Amendment in the state of Maine, what demographic are they? Are they male, female? What age group? What education level? What part of the state are they most likely to be located in? And that way we would be able to use that data to do targeted marketing. So if we wanted to send out flyers or wanted to have a rep from that area post some things, particularly on Facebook, to try to create some outreach and try to stimulate some conversation, we'd be able to use that. Secondarily, that'd be really useful for candidates who want to run. So even within their own county, they'd be able to know what areas of their county they want to target. So if they want to do door knocking, and they want to hold events, they know what topics are the topics that are most commonly spoken about in their area, what topics are popular, what topics are not as popular, so they know what they're basically walking into when they try to run. So that's the high level view of what it does.
Yeah, that's the overview. The idea is, I mean, it seems pretty obvious, I guess, but the idea is we're trying to provide as many resources as humanly possible and technically possible to anyone within the Liberty group that is a candidate that would like to run as Libertarian in Maine. And we're limited on resources because we're the LP, and the LP National has its own situation they're dealing with. So we're taking care of it ourselves, and we just happen to have people that can do it. So we're lucky. Okay, I guess it's my turn. Shoot, I commented anyway. All right, website progress. Well, I went through and I set up all the county pages. If you want, I can go ahead and
Hold on a second.
screen share.
Yeah. Co-host. Yes, there you go.
All right.
Jason, I'm gonna give you shared privs too, because you might need it for the AI conversation.
All right, here's our website. First things first, yeah,
Updated photo?
yes. What?
Updated photo?
We
Yeah,
know.
everybody's complaining about the damn picture. Okay, here's what I was going to email. I was, and mind you, I keep looking over here because my view's over here. I'm going to send out the dimensions of the size images that we can work here. Right now, that is just a static wide photo. Obviously, I don't even know that that's the United States. I have no idea where that is. But the homepage right now just has the static photo. We actually have the ability to do sliders, so we can run multiple things across there that are also interactive, where we can set them up. So if, let's say, we've got an event coming up, we can have a publicity slide that's part of the slider that's sitting there running the stuff through. Basic website garbage. We can do it. I just need the graphics. So if anybody has some very main pictures that they want to share, or even graphics that would work, please shoot them my way. I'm going to send you to the email list of the XCOM and say, listen, here's the size I need. So as long as they're big enough, I can put whatever up there. All right. So I don't have to hear about this anymore. I'm not really perturbed. I'm kind of more perturbed. I've not fixed it yet.
We could do a photo contest.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
There you go.
We could do a photo contest.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm driving all over the state. Sometimes I stop and take a scenic shot
should.
here. I probably got like
And that's what I'm
500 of
talking
Katahdin
about.
alone. But no, you know what? I'll keep that in mind over the next couple weeks and just send you shots. I'm going up to Aroostook County tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I'm staying in the Bangor area. Friday.
And particularly spring shots would be nice. I mean, this feels kind of gloomy and gray, but it was gloomy and gray when we put it together. So I think it works.
Right.
Do we think that a photo contest is a bad idea?
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a
I
great
like the idea a lot.
Okay.
And I mean, I
what
wouldn't be opposed to putting it out to the social media world too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know?
she's saying. Yeah.
No, I'm saying not internally. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, that's a good idea. I like that.
Okay.
Do we need any legalese that says any submissions now belong to us and we can put it wherever we want? Because I mean,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
I mean, we'll need,
That's
what I
true.
will probably do is just set up like a submission link on the website, and it'll have all the legalese on it, and it will upload it into a dump folder where we can scan it for viruses and make sure it's not going to destroy us or anyone who sees it and that kind of stuff.
I can
Right.
make a graphic, Joe, if you want, for like to advertise for it.
Yeah,
and then,
absolutely.
and then you can add the link to it or whatever.
See, there we go. See, the great homepage image issue. There it is.
There it is.
We talked about some other stuff, but let me go over to here first. So this is our basic county page or state page with all of these state level people on it. If you see a big problem here, it's my photo and Brian. I mean, and then Dane's rectangular. We really need a consistent kind of photo and a consistent, like we're going square or we're going rectangular.
Yeah.
Because we need to stick with it. I mean, I think we already have these official photos of you two. So I think that's the format we stick with and try to get everybody else in front of that backdrop at some point, or
Why don't
get
we
everybody to stand in front of some sort of blank wall and I'll Photoshop y'all in front of it.
I think
Or
we just need to
let's
do it at the convention. I always leave early. I think I left early, so I didn't. But I think if we do that, I think that would make the most sense.
Okay.
Most likely everyone's
if we're
gonna be
meeting
there.
in person in July anyway, let's just bring the backdrop with us.
Yeah,
There you
where
go.
is that? Because I have never seen it other than that convention.
Does Jim have it?
I believe I have it,
Yeah.
unless,
Yeah.
I mean, I gave some stuff to Robin a few weeks ago. I don't think
Yeah,
that
and
was
now
one of
I
them,
have
no.
all of it, and it's
No,
not in.
I still have more.
Oh, you do?
I didn't give you all of it. Yeah.
Just withholding
Yeah,
on
so
us.
I have two tablecloths now and a shitload of materials. So I don't know what Joe you've got. If you have a tablecloth, I know
He has a tablecloth. Yeah, because he has
You
the
do?
stuff that I gave him, I think.
Okay.
Well, let's look at this. Number one, do we want to meet in person in July? And secondly, if so, then we should bring the backdrop with us.
All right. I think we're getting out of where we're at though.
Yes.
Are we though? Okay. I
Yeah,
just wanted to throw
I
that out
think
there.
so.
Yeah,
Can we mark that down for new business?
we should, but I'm just throwing it out
Okay.
there. Yeah.
All right, let's
Okay.
do that so I don't get distracted. All right, so anyway, that's that. County parties, obviously, everybody loves the map, so we went with the map. And I wanted to show everyone just an example here. I killed the Androscoggin website that I had put up, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. And I just have everything, I just have it pointing to this now. And we can do this with all of your counties. We can put a map. I put the little highlight with the Google map in there so you know where the hell we're talking. Blurbs. We can do this for every county. I don't have the resources to do it for every county, but if you all send me content, I can put it up like that. That brings me to another issue. If anybody who wants access to get in here, this is a visual editor, and if you want to get in and edit pages and posts and stuff, well, let me know. I just need to add your email address.
Okay.
So anyway, so I had sent out a message about that, but what we've got here is just your general, our county map. Now when we had our web development meeting, Kate, were you able to send me that yet?
I did in
Or could you run
Discord.
through it?
Yeah, so let's see. What are you
We were talking about adding to what we have, and the other thing we've got obviously is Read. Read is just where our blogs are. We just have 2 of them in there. We imported the one, and we have the other one that was written about.
I think
about
we're talking about using the website to be more of the hub and kind of having that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were talking about adding. There was a component to the header we were going to add to the menus.
Oh, right. The legislative tab.
That's it. So
That
we're
one?
going to add another glob up here, another menu item up here, which will be the legislative component, where we're going to focus more on what's active legislation going on in the state of Maine. And that will kind of dovetail into something else in new business, I think. And then the other thing we're going to do is put the donate button back up here and get that straightened around. So we're actually
Also,
doing something.
is there a place here where it's like become a member, or is that going to be part of the donate tab as well?
We've got.
And have we? I have another add-on to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fixed. I don't know if you even know this was an issue, but we had an issue with payment processing that were like recurrent monthly donations and shit that like someone had put in. Actually, Kate and I both did it through the website on a donation, and it never went through.
Oh, I know. I wasn't even. I didn't even even thinking about putting it in the. I thought we would use the built-in component that we've got here, and it would just go straight in our bank account.
Oh, good. That sounds better.
As opposed to running through the LP National
Yeah.
nonsense, because they're in the
I
middle of
agree.
messing with everything anyway. So it's like, why
Right.
even bother?
No,
This
I think that-
website has a donate function built into it.
The only thing that I would want to be sure that we're cognizant of is like, anyone who's donating over 25 a year is automatically a member, and I'd like to have some sort of way of capturing that so we have a running tally of like who our actual members are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've got all sorts of stuff to work in there. By the way, speaking of that, since this is also web related, kind of, I did reach out again to Andrew with the National about getting restoring our access to Civi that we had discussed months ago. So I emailed him yet again this afternoon. So hopefully we hear something from them. But like I said, they're having a hard time figuring out the system up there. So I don't know. So that's where we're at. And then I guess the next component is going to be what's hiding up here at the moment, but that's new business, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So we will hold off on that. That is all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I will answer it.
Thank you, Joe.
No
Thank you very
problem.
much, Joe, for your diligence and staying on top of it. I'll personally send you some photos myself here as I drive around and think of it and says, oh, that looks nice. And
I appreciate it. I
taking
do.
that, yeah, absolutely. So let me just move that along. Okay, any other questions for Joe or Jason?
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Let's move on. Outreach.
Wait, sorry. I just, w- Jason, so we talked about that the trial's been completed. It sort of can be up and running. What did you say was sort of the next step, or like, what are we waiting for with the next step to like actually have it be live?
So just to figure out where and what software we're going to use to create the visualizations.
Okay.
So right now it's just it takes a bunch of data and just makes it neater in a way that a visualizer can read. So, I mean, I could read it. I'm pretty sure if Joe went through it, he could read it, understand what it's trying to say. But it's written in a mixture of like R code language, and so it's like it's a bit messy. So we have to just figure out what we're going to use to read that language and create the visuals.
Can you shoot me over Discord 2 options for readers, and I'll research and see if that's something we can embed in a website. You
Yep,
know, we could access control it through the website. If that's possible, that would kind of kill a couple birds with one stone.
Can do.
Okay.
Okay.
Apologize
Oh,
for the.
social media engagement. Yeah, I guess I can briefly talk about that. We've been doing, I don't know if Joe, if you've looked into this at all, but we've been doing blockbuster numbers on Facebook recently, these past 2-3 months.
Because we're posting stuff and we're not posting milquetoast garbage.
Okay, it's okay. But some of the, I mean, also some of the shit that we're posting is getting like 10,000 friggin' likes. Like one of them got like crazy friggin' numbers. It had like 500 comments, and like we've never seen engagement like that on anything we've ever done. I think that we've recently probably been followed by some large accounts, and they're probably resharing some of our stuff, which is awesome because it's driving a shitload of traffic to Facebook. So I know I've said it before, but when anyone, if anyone doesn't have access, posting access, please let Jim or Kate know. And if you run into something that you think is, you know, something we should say, or whether it be a meme or just a comment or whatever, you know, takes 2 seconds. The more content we get out, the better, in my opinion.
Well, I got to give credit where credit's due, Dane. I mean, I think you're the one that hit on the one that got a ridiculous amount of numbers. I'm scrolling down trying to find it right here.
Yeah, it was that
I
Ron
wanted-
Paul quote, I think.
Oh, it was yeah. Yeah, you'll never find the more wretched scum. Yeah, the more that was on May 4th. That was 5,700.
Yeah, that's
I
Right.
mean, good Lord. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, it's cool. I love it, but yeah, it's and this is a real test as to what is tapping into people, you know, or yeah,
They're mad.
Yeah.
People in
Yep.
Maine are pissed off. And they
Yeah.
are pissed off at the Republicans and they are pissed off at the Democrats. Pissed off. Very.
And I feel like what we're doing well is that I think sometimes it's really easy to fall into the trap of Republicans bad, Democrats bad. And I'm not saying I disagree with that, but I think it's a little bit derivative sometimes. So I think we're doing a good job of like kind of going that we're pointing it out, but it's a little subtler. And I don't know. I've been really happy with the content. I feel like it hits the right notes. It's a little bit more of a unique take at times than what I see other state parties posting kind of the same things over and over. So I don't know. To Jim's point, credit where credit's due. Thank you guys for doing that.
You know, and maybe, and this is just a thought, we don't need any hard, fast rules here, but maybe we should disagree. You know, let's not post Republicans or Democrats for the time being, just post what's making
Exactly.
them mad.
Right.
We can say politicians,
Yeah,
but just say
hit
that.
the issue. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
You know,
uniparty.
right.
I mean, that's why I think, you know, the number one term among libertarians online is uniparty. I mean, and then that just becomes the thing. We're not criticizing Democrats. We're not criticizing Republicans. We're criticizing the entire freaking lot of them, all of
Yes.
Congress.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with various exceptions here and there sometimes. So, you know.
Right.
But what I was going to say is we do have that Discord group where anybody can drop that. You know, we've got the social media
Oh, good.
Discord group in there, so anybody can drop anything that they think are in there. That's why I put that stuff together. And the meme stash is another one. So if you've got a good meme and you drop them in there, that's stuff that I think needs to be, you know, that's kind of the idea is to, it's fun for us to look at them and giggle, but it's also fun for us to be able to generate content. So
Right, and we can also just use that as a stock too, because not everything's going to be posted
Yeah,
every
and
time.
it'll just be
right?
there.
You literally
It'll
just
just live
scroll through the friggin' meme stash, and you could grab something that we dumped in there a year ago, and you know,
Is that
Um,
something that, I think we kind of talked about that during our meeting too, where we could have a separate tab for like outreach for people to then submit their ideas.
Mm.
And maybe we could link the Discord group that like, or that like that chat
yeah,
there.
that is that is one thing I think that we should start doing more. Is to pipe the Discord invite link to people that we know would be engaged. You know what I mean? I mean, we
Yeah.
have to be somewhat cautious, but not too bad. I think I have most of the permissions pretty well already organized.
Yeah, it's
but
pretty buttoned up, I think.
Can we
Yeah.
call it something like meme vetting or something around that? Yeah,
Well,
no, seriously. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
Hey,
I mean,
this is what. Can we do this one? Yeah, no, maybe. That's too weak. That's too
Right,
strong.
right.
Yes, hell yes, do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. We don't need a formal vote for that. Let's just create one and we put in our stuff that's going to either be fantastic or sucks, but who cares? Either way, it's just we're feeling stuff out.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
All right.
Okay.
On to
Again,
new
thank you for that.
business.
All right. Any
Before-
questions?
Oh,
Oh, nothing about that, but before we start, I just wanted to, if in the new business, I was gonna ask to just point of personal privilege and just table the last thing that I had in there for convention. Our
Okay.
candidate handbook,
Okay.
so just putting that out there.
Okay. So noted. It has been tabled. All right. Okay. Moving on, the outreach materials. I actually have a question for Robin about this. So when Robin and I met a few weeks ago, I gave her some materials and I wanted to kind of follow up with her on that. Was any of the materials I gave you more popular than others, or
None of
overall?
it was really relevant, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
All right.
was all sort of outdated. There were cards in there that talked about we need to be like a party in Maine again. And then there were just like the blank postcards. So
I kind of expected that. So
I have
yeah.
a stack of Chase Oliver stickers if you want them.
nah.
So it sounds like
yeah.
Dean and Keith had some stuff, but I do think that we need to sort of get some like outreach materials,
Yes.
because I basically like made something to put on the table about the LPs, the plank on education, like their platform on education, and just sort of did that up, but I didn't really have anything to hand out. I made a flyer and like that's what I could hand out.
And that's kind of, that dovetails in with, that's twice today I said dovetail. That's three, into what I've been talking about in my report about going out and talking to businesses and stuff. I really don't have anything to give them other than the little LP business cards things that I have inherited, which is great.
Yeah.
But if I had like a handbill kind of size thing that we could put up
There isn't
board.
anything like that. I thought there was stuff that I gave you that were like handouts, like cards and
You didn't give me anything. I got all
Um,
this stuff from the dude who.
Michael.
oh, I gave it to Michael and
Ah.
then Michael gave it to you.
See, Dane.
So that's-
Dane thought I had more stuff than I did too. Maybe there was a box we just didn't. That got packed accidentally by him, and I just didn't get a
Maybe
hold
Michael
of it.
was pissed off and then threw it out. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I have like 300,000 of those economics books, and a bunch of Chase
Good.
Oliver
I actually
stickers
need
and
some
some
of
business
those.
cards.
You
So,
talking econ in one lesson? You
Yeah.
ever ship those? Yeah, I definitely need a bunch.
dude, I've got 3 boxes. I had to rebox everything because all the boxes were destroyed. So I reboxed everything, and they're all sitting up on a shelf in my garage. So
Cool.
anytime
you
you
know-
get to Wales, I'm here.
So Joe,
Yeah.
there wasn't any like issue specific pamphlets?
Like I said, it was a lot of Chase material. There were some, I guess some of the stuff was related to Vandertat as well.
Oh, I bet
Oh,
Michael didn't
remember-
give you the
No,
stuff
so
because
hold
That's
on,
what I
I think
had.
I can fix this. I realized too that I had to go pick up a bunch of stuff from Michael before going to the like he just had it after he kind of left. He had it and I needed to go pick it up from him at his house in Auburn. And so
Mhm.
we have like a bunch of different, like they're old, they're not really, they don't look great, but we have a bunch of like issue specific pamphlets that are all like the same branding from
It was,
LNC.
yeah.
okay.
LNC.
Okay.
It might have been that.
So
because I
that's
had to pick
probably
up
what
that
happened.
and,
He
like,
probably
all
just
of the
found more
space
garbage
stuff.
when he was moving.
Yeah, I
would
think
be my
that's what
guess.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, circling back here, then the reason I asked about those physical materials is I think when it comes down to it, our most effective outreach materials will be the digital kind, which we already covered. And
Yeah.
what we need to push a little more here. So that was kind of the point of my question. I kind of want to know what is the most valuable piece of physical materials we have. And to be honest with you, it's really not. I mean, people can take what they want from a readers. I mean, we need to have them, but the digital ones are far and away far more valuable.
I would agree. I just looked at the pricing too, Jim, of what the link that you sent about like from your original email about the rack cards and such, and it's $50 for 50.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're like this big.
I mean, we could.
So-
I mean, I've gone through because of what I do. I've gone through every printer I could find in this part of the state, and I've found some guys that are actually reasonable to print. I mean, we can make our own stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
we have
not.
before. We
Yeah,
have before.
I designed we did 2 rat cards maybe 2 years ago. One was on 2A and one was just kind of like who we are.
We could totally just do some more. And
I mean,
have
we
it-
throw together a couple of pages of content, bang, 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 bang for an issue, lay out the same piece of paper, and then splotch it in the middle of it and go
Yeah.
crazy. I
Well,
mean,
and I think too,
because I
it's
think
good
just
to have
having them
some
around.
things, like I don't think we need to have like a huge stock of things either, but I think it is good for each rep to have some and just to have like a little stack. Like I don't think we'd need more than like 1,000 total,
Right.
Yeah.
Just enough to table,
Right.
not look pathetic.
In other words, we have enough to get us by for a while.
For right now, yeah, I think we do, but
Well, we'll probably, I think when we all meet in person the next time, I think everyone should bring everything they have so that we can distribute a little bit more equally, because I have a haunting suspicion.
That's a good
of
idea.
the
That makes
a
lion's-
lot
the
of
lion's
sense.
share of shit.
Yes.
good idea.
Get rid of some of these books.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
it
got-
sounds like we're not necessarily gonna make a motion on anything today, and maybe we'll reconvene like in an ad hoc sense to design a couple more and figure out a plan for printing at that point.
Yeah, that we can present it at that point. I think that
Okay.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Right. Very good. Very good. I think you say we said all we need to say about that. Let's kind of just
Yeah.
move on to convention planning. Kate, what you got?
Yes, so I didn't get a formal proposal from Maple Hill. We have the date, so the date's fine. They have it set aside for us. He's been a little bit sluggish in his response time, so it is, but he did send me like the whole list of all their rates and all that. So I was kind of going through it, but I realized I was like, I think maybe it would be good for us, for a couple of us, whoever's available or able, for like during the summer to meet ad hoc to kind of get some of this planning going. one to kind of, I don't want to make the decisions, like obviously I would be any money decisions and anything we would have to be deciding on for food and that type of thing is together, but I just figured all of it plus doing the convention agenda, it might be helpful to have some help with that. So I'm just kind of putting it out there that I would be sending out some communication at some point soon, so I can get a couple people or whoever is willing to help me out with some of that.
Yeah, well, we also probably want to have a bylaws committee.
Well, that's,
formed
I,
as well.
okay, hold on, I'm gonna be bringing that up.
Kate, that's definitely something that I'll be interested in.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So so in terms of then the agenda, I do think we need to take a really big look. I was looking through some of our bylaws and SOP, and it's just, I think we have moved really far past that in just a year and a half in terms of like what it was structured like. I do think we do need to look at it and update it quite a bit. So I would say that that might also take a good, like, I think that can be rolled into the convention planning committee if people are willing to do that as well, like, as part of it. Or we could always separate it out and have another set of people look at the bylaws. It's up to you guys. I don't care who, I'll be involved with both. So whoever is able to, just let me know what you're more interested in, or if you're cool with doing both.
Remind me of the date, please.
The date is November 16th.
I believe I did put that in the shared calendar and invited everyone to it. So you should have that in your calendars.
The other piece that I just want to make sure of, Jim, is there a place from like because we're doing the delegate convention too at the same time,
Like,
is there a place that we would go to make sure we're hitting all of the requirements for a delegate convention in the eyes of the state?
There are none in the eyes of the state. The only one that's required is having one during during the even numbered year. We're doing it during odd numbered year, and that's not that's not. We have to do one during the even numbered year. Another convention. We're
No,
doing the we're doing
I thought it was.
the delegate convention. We're doing that in the odd numbered year for ourselves. This was Harrison's idea. This will give the delegates plenty of time to plan so they can go to the national convention. That's the purpose.
Right.
But we are still required to have a state convention during the odd during the even numbered year, during election year.
Sorry, I thought you said delegate convention because I was like, wait, no, it's the odd number year. Now
Right.
I got it. But yes, and we've been practicing a yearly convention anyway. Like we've done that since we've been
yeah,
around.
that's switched.
Yeah.
But I know like in the bylaws, it doesn't necessarily delineate that as much. I think I don't think they actually changed that. It's just
I thought we did. I thought we changed it so we would have one annually. And
oh, maybe we didn't.
I've been kind of
We
on
did.
the fence about it. I'm okay. I could take it or leave it. We definitely need to have one in even numbered years, because the
Okay.
state requires it. So I say we do it this time around in November, and we'll play it by
Well,
ear after that.
Yeah. So anyway, so basically there's nothing from the eyes of the state that we have to hit, like with I'm thinking the caucuses have a specific form, like you have to have a form and all that.
Yes.
Like nothing for the delegate convention that we need to do.
Yeah, the caucuses are vital. That's a
Okay.
whole other deal here.
I'm not bringing up that we have to do them. I'm talking about the fact that there is an actual like format that they need information provided to them. So
Correct.
there's nothing from the delegate convention. Okay. So that's all I'm going to be asking for tonight, is just to kind of keep it in your mind. I'll reach out in a separate email to, kind of drum up some help, and then we'll come up with a couple dates so we can meet and kind of go over these things.
So point of information, I have it written down as Saturday the 15th.
We decided on Sunday the 16th.
We did, okay.
Mhm.
Because of
Yes.
hunting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to confirm. I
Very
will
good.
move
Very
the-
good. Point of
So
information. What happened to George?
I think
he said
was,
he had to leave.
yeah, he
Oh, he
wasn't
did?
gonna be able to
Okay.
stay.
Okay.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm looking forward to putting this together. I think it'll be good.
All right. Reach out if you need any help there, please.
Yep.
What else we got? Let's move on to AI tools. Yeah.
So this will be fun.
Yeah.
All right. So I had a wonderful conversation a few weeks ago when Dane and Kate were over at our house. And we spoke about creating some potential tools, AI tools that we think could be useful for delegates, for the libertarians in Maine, so on and so forth. And what we came up with was it would be interesting if we could create 2 AI engines that could be used for 2 different purposes. One would be to analyze new legislature happening in the state of Maine. And the second one would be able to answer questions, whether it be legislature wise or just general questions about how specific topics interact with libertarian principles. So those were just like the 2 test cases to see, could we create this, how it works, on and so forth. So they have been created and they are accessible. So I'm going to share my screen to give you guys an idea of what this does and how this works. Okay. So everyone seeing that okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So both of these AI engines are being hosted via ChatGPT. For you guys, anyone who doesn't know, so ChatGPT is call it AI, but it's a large language model. So when you have a ChatGPT account, you have access to their large language model, but you also have the option to create your own custom language model that either accesses the internet completely or accesses specific parts of the internet, or you can upload your own files, so that way it only accesses the files that you provide it with. So that's basically what we did, is a combination of specific web pages and specific content to create these custom AI models. So there are 2 that are running. One is called Maine Policy Digest. So this is just a generic title that it was created, but we could change it if we wanted to. So what this is meant to do is 2 things. When you first open the GPT, it'll give you an option right here that says summarize new bills posted on the maine.gov website. What this does is it accesses the maine.gov and the legislature.maine.gov websites, and it looks for every new single piece of legislature that has been added to it. So for anyone who doesn't know, for you to be able to introduce a bill or even get a bill into committee, it has to be posted legally on those web pages. So the minute a bill is introduced, a bill has to go through committee before it even actually gets pushed through and voted on. It gets updated to one of those 2 websites. So this AI engine pings both of those. So if I click this button right here, it says summarize new bills posted. It's going to ping those web pages. It's going to take a second, and it'll give us a summary. So as of May 14, 2025, the Maine legislature has scheduled several new bills and public hearings, and it'll give you a breakout. So for criminal justice, these specific bills have been introduced. It'll tell you what the actual act is called, or the bill is called, and then it'll give you a quick synopsis of what the bill is trying to do. And it'll break it out by different things. So like this one's criminal justice, this is education, this one is appropriations and financials, agriculture, so on and so forth. For every single one of these bills, there's a little link. So if you click on it, it'll take you to the actual web page, so you can see the entire bill as it's written out. But the synopsis is already here. If you want specific information, so upcoming open door sessions, it'll again look up the web page and look for all new sessions. So I ask it what new upcoming sessions are coming up. On Thursday, May 15th, the Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee is meeting at the State House, room 436. At 9:30, it'll give you a breakout of what's supposed to be covered in that meeting, what those bills are about, so on and so forth. So that's one way that this is meant to be used.
Is there a function in this about submitting testimony?
Yes, I'll get to that in a second.
Sorry.
Any questions on that part?
Not yet, other than this is great.
So to Dane's point, testimony. So the way this would work is and I'll let Joe go into the background, but there would be a AI bot that's basically on our webpage. The way this works is that AI bot interacts with this exact GPT. So someone basically drops a tip. It'll go to this GPT. The GPT will look to see what the person's talking about it, try to relate it to a specific bill or a specific session or a specific date, and then send an email to an email address of our choosing saying, hey, we just received a tip from Dane Cartois. He's talking about this bill that's happening and wants some more information on it. Based on the information he provided, we believe that the GPT believes it's about this bill, LD XXX, that is about this specific policy and is scheduled to be whatever through committee or being voted on, and it'll give you a synopsis of that bill and where it is in the stage of approval. So that's how that would integrate into the website. Cool. So the other way that this specific GPT is meant to be used, and this actually goes hand in hand with that what we just talked about the website, is if there's a specific thing or bill that you're thinking about that you need more details on. So Samantha provided me with a test case. So she heard about a anti-ICE bill, so ICE in terms of immigration enforcement bill that is trying to be passed in the state of Maine. So I asked this exact GPT, hey, tell me more about that bill. It got confused and said, oh, you mean ice, like ice and snow? So I said, Sam, where did you get this from? She's like, oh, it was a news article from the Maine Wire. So I was able to go to the Maine Wire URL and then basically just highlight the entire article, copy it, and paste it into this GPT and go, hey, verify this information. So after it read the entire article, it was able to provide this detail saying that this article was published on May 13th. This article is talking about LD 1259, restricting local federal law enforcement cooperation. This is an act to enhance public safety in Maine by defending the relationship between local and federal law enforcement. The sponsor is Rep. Amberine Ronald from Bangor. The purpose is to prohibit state or local enforcement from entering into contracts or cooperative agreements with federal immigration enforcement authorities, specifically ICE. So basically, this bill would inhibit the state, local authorities, so sheriff departments, local authorities, housing, so Social Security, anything, to cooperate with federal agencies in looking for illegal migrants and going through the deportation process. So this is the bill. There's a second bill that the GPT found that's associated with it, which basically is from Decca Dalak, which is a Democrat from Portland, which takes that and expands it even more to limit it even more, saying that even conversation cannot be had. So, for example, if ICE was to call Portland and go, hey, we have this person's name, this address, this is their job, can you confirm that this person is on your records? They cannot even answer that question according to this bill. So the GPT found that as well. Lastly, it found a last bill, which is a Republican bill, which is trying to do the complete opposite, which is basically saying that this is Bill LD 422, which would say that if a migrant or non-citizen was to be placed in a specific municipality, that municipality would have to review that person, their details and information, and then vote on what they want to allow that person into that municipality. So basically, let's say Liberty, where I live, the state wants to put 25 migrants on a Liberty. The town of Liberty has the right to have a meeting, a town meeting, saying, hey, the state wants to put 25 people here. Does anybody object? We could vote on it and then tell the state, hey, we had a vote. We do not want this. You cannot put the migrants in our town. So that is a bill that the Republicans are trying to do to counter it. But the whole long story short is by that one article, the GPT was able to recognize what it was talking about and associate it with bills and then also counter bills that are going through the legislation process in May.
And it gives the nice synopsis
Yep.
too.
And it gives a synopsis, and over at the bottom, it gives you a quick outlook and implications. So what it could mean if it actually passes. So this is basically just giving you like a basic top level view of what it's talking about.
I am so pumped about this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the GPTs. There's a second one, but before I go into that one, I think that one's actually really fun too. Does anybody have any questions about this, or do you want me to put something through the GPT as a test case, anything like that? All right.
Trying to think of
So
something
the-
good.
How quickly can we get this live on the site?
They were
So
working.
this is actually, that's
Yeah.
in the process.
Cool.
And I think Joe go over that. We have developed the code to put it on the site. I messed up in some of the language, which I will fix tonight, and then Joe will have it tomorrow, but this can be on the site live tomorrow
Oh my
morning.
gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so we need to promote.
Yes, we
Yes.
do. I will be
Mhm.
making a, I can make a graphic for that too, since I'm doing one on the photo contest.
Very good.
Cool. So that's the one.
Excellent.
Be sure to
I
include a
would-
picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger as T1000
Okay.
or T800.
Well, did you hit the fact that we're going to have multiple bots in there?
Yeah, so we'll go over that too.
I would caution that before you promote it, that you all take some time and ask it questions and ask it inappropriate things, just to see what the responses are, to make sure that it's operating to its full capacity, because you are going to have the people that are asking it, like, what are you wearing? That's something my dad would do just to be funny, but you are going to get those questions.
Mhm.
So
Give it a
I
shot,
just-
Jason. Hit
I'll
it.
just make the
Put it in there.
graphic. I
What are
won't
you
release
wearing?
it.
Yeah.
Can we have an inappropriate question committee meeting? Because I think that'd be a blast, you know? In fact, yeah, that's the way to promote it, you know? Talk about Ask Me
So-
Anything.
I will still make the graphic, but I won't, that's a great point,
There
Sam.
you
I
go.
won't release it,
There you go.
but
So to Sam's point, and I don't think me and Sam talked about this before this. So I asked it that, what are you wearing? So what I
Yeah.
did was when I created this GPT, I limited its, I basically told her that unless it is a question that refers to these specific topics and can be referenced by these specific resources, just basically say, hey, sorry, I can't help you with that. So I just asked it, what are you
Right.
wearing? And it says, I don't wear clothes. I'm just a digital assistant, but I'm always ready to help with information analysis. Let me know what you need. But
It's a
again,
little
we should still
disappointing,
test
to
it
tell you
to
the
see if there's
truth.
some way to defeat it.
nice.
Because there's
Okay,
always some
so-
guy out
You
there
can
who
set
knows the
up
right
your
words
own
to
open-
use, the right
Challenge
combination.
accepted.
You can set
Yeah.
up your
Challenge
own OpenAI
accepted.
account, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it, and then talk to
Mhm.
it as poorly
Well, and
as
if
you
you
would
know the
like.
parameters of, you can only answer questions that are like this, well, then start looking at what's close to the outside of those questions, or the outside of those answers, and, you know, kind of keep probing further and further
Yep.
to see how far you can get.
Hmm.
Sometimes it'll just like glitch out and hallucinate. You don't want that either.
I agree. We should test this. Everybody, and we'll talk about that at the end of this, is what the next steps are for this. But I would agree that we should all test this, play with it, see how we like it, see what it does, so on and so forth.
I think we have a BYOB night. You know, just testing. I'm telling you, and just,
my
just go,
God.
baby. Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Maybe like
bring
the
a
new-
beverage and the filthiest questions you can come up with, man. We gotta
Oh,
That's the
geez.
most beautiful
We got-
part. We don't even have to look at each other when we're doing this. We can just do this at the privacy of our own home and be as horrible.
Oh no, I
to
want to see
everybody.
some reactions, baby.
Oh,
This is gonna be-
yeah, well, you
Yeah.
know.
Isn't
But,
that a platform
this-
that gamers use to like to just
Twitch.
Yes.
Twitch.
the new version?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
it's all quality control when it comes right down to it. You know, it's
QC nights, QC nights.
QC. Yeah, I'm game. I'm game.
So
but all
that
joking
leads you-
aside, Jason, this is fantastic. You know,
Perfect, cool.
this is great.
So this leads into a second GPT, which I'll go over really quickly too. So the second GPT is called Libertarian Lens. What this is meant to do is to take in information and analyze it and compare it against libertarian principles. So what this is currently done, I've given it a list and I've fed it about 5,000 documents. And it's basically has that all in a repository and goes, okay, whenever you ask me a question, I'm going to answer the question contextually based on this information you've given me. So if you guys have any libertarians that you're fans of that you want added, I have the big ones in there. Hayek's in there, von Mises is in there, Rothbard's in there. I even have some of like the founding fathers of liberalism, like John Locke. He's in there. So they're all in there. And whenever a question gets asked, it'll look at all those people and go, okay, what would they basically say about these kinds of things? So I tested that to see, okay, what does it come up with? So what I did was I took one of those anti-ICE bills that I just talked about in the last GPT and had it do an analysis of that bill. So I told it, hey, what is the libertarian view of Maine Bill LD 1259? It looked up that bill, it went over the bill and then gave me a synopsis. So it gave me arguments that support the bill from a libertarian idea, things like federalism and local autonomy, protection of individual liberties, resource allocation efficiency. But then it gave me opposing reasons why the bill wouldn't work, because it violates voluntary cooperation, telling basically state agencies that they do not get the right to cooperate with the federal government. Property rights and rule of law, saying that by this bill it could override the property rights of individuals because you're putting people into a community where they may not be welcome. Public safety concerns, so it could potentially put violent people into an area without those people being aware of it, and then gave a conclusion. I asked it to dive in even further based on specific people. So I asked it to give me an even more analysis focusing on a Rothbardian and von Mises view of immigration. And it did that. And it said, okay, based on Murray Rothbard's view of immigration and property, what he would say. So Rothbard might oppose this bill based on restricting local enforcement cooperation. He would view LD 225 as perpetuating a state-imposed open borders regime. Rothbard's notion of forced integration would see LD 1259 as centralizing immigration decisions in Washington, D.C. So it gave that. Same thing for von Mises, what his general views are about laissez-faire economics, but also what he would think of this bill. 1259 disempowers localities from screening migrants who might become a physical burden. Mises would likely favor allowing local discretion to enforce federal immigration laws, especially if this promotes social stability. He would oppose blanket exclusion, however, would also want to prioritize the rights of the individuals already living in the area. So it gave me a synopsis of what Rothbard thinks, what Mises thinks, what the principle they're talking about, and then how that relates to the bill. Lastly, I told it, okay, well, create something that I could distribute that would basically surmise this message. So it created this visualization based on what it had.
That's awesome.
And it basically says, okay, well, this is the libertarian analysis of Bill LD 1259. This is a matrix comparing Rothbard and Mises' perspective of the bill. Role of government. What does Murray think about it? What does Ludwig think about it? Does it align with the bill? Immigration philosophy, does it align or not align? Voluntary association, does it align, not align? And it gives you a point-by-point breakout of why this bill would be considered anti-libertarian.
So fucking awesome.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
That's
Do you have
what this,
Hoppa in there too?
huh?
Do you have Hoppa in there too?
I do.
Okay, good.
But again,
So,
if there's any specific people that you guys are fans of, or you think that their insights on a specific issue. So also, once you guys have access to this, let's say you ask it a question and it doesn't have that resource, you just tell it, hey, include this libertarian thinker, and it will look for all the public information about their views and so on and so forth, books, essays, papers, Facebook posts. Well, I don't think Facebook actually, because some social media is limited, but it'll find as much publicly available information and then create a fake version of that person in the GPT and then give perspectives based on that person's viewpoint.
Why don't you
Oh,
give
no.
them a list of who you included,
Yep.
just so everyone's not like, hey, did you include so-and-so?
Yep.
And you have to keep saying yes.
I'll create a list for you guys too.
Sweet. Good idea, Sam.
I think what I really love about this idea is that what we have struggled with as a party, because we're kind of a small group, we're trying to do all the things and it's a lot of work. And so what this does is I love that it also kind of puts the emphasis back on the individual. Like, this is your job to do too. Like this, if this means something to you, this is how you can use this tool and do some activism work from your couch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we've been trying to figure out how to activate people. And I think that this is an easy in, I think, for some. The other piece too, and Jason, let me know if I'm jumping the gun or if this was going to be part of what you were talking about, but I think we had mentioned something about this also leading us into kind of standing up our membership.
Yes, so I can go over that real quick.
Yeah, okay.
So first off, this right now, both of these GPTs are sandboxed, so they're not publicly available. So they're only living in my account. What I would motion, and I can do the motion after we're done with this conversation, would be for the Libertarian Party of Maine to purchase its own GPT license. So that way these two GPTs can be transferred to the party and belong to the party to use. What that would do is, one, it gives the party ownership of it, but also it would create, so by creating that account, you could use those login credentials, and any one of us, we could put those credentials on the Google Drive. Any of you guys can download the ChatGPT app, sign in using that login account, and you would have access on your phone to these two GPTs. So like if going out throughout your day, someone says some stupid shit that you want to double check, you can
Right.
go ahead, log into the account, type in what they said, and then those two GPTs will analyze whatever you give it and give you a synopsis of whether it's accurate, if it's not. If someone said that there's this weird bill that does something weird, you can go ahead and ask a GPT and it'll verify if it is, if it doesn't exist, what the bill is. So you just have to log in, ask this question, log out, and anyone in the party would have access to that, or any one of us would have access to that. So that's one thing. The second thing is by creating our own main GPT account, you can create what's called seats. So you would create an additional user that branches underneath that main user, and we'd be able to offer those seats as part of our membership. So you can create tier levels in our membership where we can create as many custom GPTs as we like. And the idea would be that if you are a paid member, you get access to the Libertarian Lens. So that way you can go ahead and see what the Libertarian view is on specific daily issues. If you are someone who's running for office as a Libertarian, we would create a custom GPT that's tailored for your county, and some of that demographic data, this is how it ties into that information. And we can create a custom GPT that could be used by people in that area to go ahead and target messaging, so on and so forth. So it would be a way for us to monetize these GPTs, is basically say, hey, we're going to create specific GPTs that only have access if you pay this tier level. And on top of being an LP member and contributing, you also get access to these resources that we're creating for you.
Holla frickin' Luya.
Yeah,
Mm.
force multiplier.
I think this is, and I think this is something that I feel like I've been really interested in, because I've noticed it when we started, in the OT association, we started really focusing on what the member benefits were. And we saw like a 30% rise in membership just this past year. So I really feel like this is a great effort to kind of put some energy into, because I think this is how we then get people to sign up as members. The needs assessment kind of highlighted that people don't see the utility in it because there's really nothing that we offer other than some witty quips here and there. But now this is literally, we'd be able to monetize this effort essentially and get people in that way. If they see us for nothing other than the repository for this information for them to be able to respond in testimony, then so be it, like I think that that's a pretty damn good way to advertise ourselves.
And we can create like so this is part of it, and I'll let Joe take over after this. Part of the things we can do is create custom, what are called APIs, that basically take this GPT out of the ChatGPT website and plugs it into our website, or you can create our own application that would be able to host this instead. Just for reference, there's actually, there is an organization, a Catholic organization, that created an app that answers any questions about Catholicism. And that's basically what they did. They created their own custom GPT. They created an API. They bought a bunch of licenses and seats so they don't have to worry about it ever running out of queries, and basically linked it into that app. So when you go inside the app and ask a question about what is the Catholic view on this, it's basically going to ChatGPT, this custom GPT they created, and get it with all this data from the Vatican or whatever. It gives you all these answers based on that. So this is something that's being done already by lots of people. So we have, between me and Joe, it would take some time and work, but we could basically turn this into an application long-term if we wanted to.
Yeah, and the other thing that, I mean, just looking at it from a pure website too, just its ability to create content. I mean, if we have the GPT posting a blog every 3 to 5 days that it generates off of current events that are going on in Maine's, let's say the legislature, let's say the governor's house, let's say whatever, that, but we start generating a pool of information that lives on the website. It also brings our website up in the search results, and that also makes us more visible and we get more people. So, I mean, there's 1,000 ways to exploit this and to actually make some good use of it. So I'm really geeked about it, super geeked.
Yeah, Me too.
Same.
Any questions?
Fantastic.
Are there any questions
Yeah.
before I hand it over to Joe to quickly go over how he's working with the website to get this up and running?
Thank you for all your work
Only,
on this.
yeah, we have fantastic, of course.
Stop sharing.
As much as I may have been joking earlier, I still think I'd kind of like to do a little gather as far as a little quality control here and have some fun with it here. Is that
Yeah.
something we want to schedule soon?
Sure. How about Jason and Joe, you reach out when you feel like it's ready for our
Launch.
beta
Yeah.
testing.
Mhm.
Very good. Joe? Joe is muted.
Yeah, I got distracted. I was talking to myself, believe it or not. It does happen.
I hope it's good company.
It's the only company I've got in my bunker. So, yeah, here, let me share the website real quick. Dink, donk, dink. All right, so what I've got, I can't see my tabs. Hold on. Oh, good Lord. All right, well, I think it was what?
Yep.
LP, there it is. So the concept that he's talking about is more or less this. This doesn't look like much, but we're still debugging code here. But that interface that we just saw that Jason had up there is going to plug into a web page like this. So you would literally be running all of your queries and things directly in the branded LP website. So it's not like they have to download OpenAI or ChatGPT or whatever. They literally will be running it straight in here, which also gives us the ability to put stuff over here and over here, and it gets eyeballs on the site. Plus, one of the other things that we were talking about doing is, well, if people are coming here and interested enough to play with our GPT, we should be able to know who the hell they are and where they're coming from. And we can. So what we're going to try to do is come up with a way, this is going to be down the road a little bit, but is to come up with a way that we can take the query input that's put in and tag it to the Google Analytics of the person who came in. So we'll be able to use the data that comes down through Google Analytics, and we'll be able to go, oh, someone in this part of the country that seems to be this person who also was very interested in this page in our website is somebody who's interested in the Second Amendment. So we know next time they come up, maybe they get a pop-up about Second Amendment stuff. I mean, this can go on and on and
Oh my
on.
gosh. So
And that's what we're talking about doing here, because what we're looking at, I mean, this is just so you can see the stupid back end of the editor. This is the visual editor for this, right? So this is all exciting and everything, but it's not. However, if you get into this, what you're able to do is, let me give you, man, can I do this way? Let me try this. I would like to look for the source. There we go. Y'all see that?
Yep.
Okay, so we're looking at the header information in our website. So we have all sorts of garbage in here. This is the visual editor. This is preloading fonts for the web page, all that stuff. But tucked away in here, probably GA. What is the tag on that? Oh, it didn't like that. I broke something. But anyway, with the point being, we have those Google Analytics tags in every page, and it gives us the ability to start making some critical, crazy kind of connections that we can do deep data mining. The big thing is, though, we got to get people there. And that's where all of the social channels and the other things that we're dealing with are going to, they're all going to be pointing right into this and hopefully collecting here. If they're here for the interest, okay, let's say Martha from Sabatis is really upset about what's going on in the State House, and she can't find any information about what to do with it. And she knows that this exists. She comes here, she goes in. Now we have a good idea that there's somebody in Sabatis that has an idea. She starts putting information in here. We start capturing what the queries are. We tie that to what's going on in Sabatis. We know that, if we see a flood of Second Amendment questions coming in for a certain part of the state, that maybe that's somewhere where we take our Facebook advertising and say in this zip code or this series of zip codes, we'll go ahead and put more Second Amendment content to push down in ads to them to try to, again, create the whole circle.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Yeah, this
it's,
creates-
I sat
I'm sorry.
down, I don't know, 2 or 3 nights ago, and I just started doing kind of a line drawing of how all of these things can piece back together. And the crazy part about this is, and I mean, Jason, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, this isn't a whole lot of work that we're doing here. I mean, this stuff is built out and nobody knows how to use it.
Yep.
And
I mean, honestly,
and
overall,
that's
this is
really what
about
we're talking
2 hours
about.
of coding, spread out over like a few weeks, but it was like 2 hours of coding.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's the tools are there. Our big thing is we have an idea of how to do it. We know what we're doing and nobody else does. So that automatically puts us higher up the food chain to be dragging people kicking and screaming into our world.
So can I ask a question?
Hmm?
This is kind of, again, kind of trying to nab people for membership. Is there a way to offer a very abbreviated version for free, like, or like very limited
Yes.
access, just for people to get a taste of the AI tool?
So I can tell the GPT that when it's being used via this specific web page or when this code is being accessed, to limit the response to 20 characters, 30 characters, 50
Okay.
characters. So that way it gives a very short response, like a taste. And then we could have, to Joe's point, on the right-hand side, we can have a little flyer that says, hey, if you want full access to our GPT, become a
Yeah.
member.
Okay, cool.
To also to just give an FYI, so what Joe's talking about too with this analytics, this becomes a data loop. So the idea is that the other stuff we were talking about earlier, some of these data visualization tools, that tells us what to talk about. People get interested in what we're talking about, they come to the website, they see the GPT, they start clicking around, they use it. We capture more data that feeds back into that data resource that we have that creates new profiles that we use to target new people, that they come to the website, and it just becomes a loop that it feeds itself.
My goodness.
So
Very cool.
I mean, this is the
So-
way the big guys are trying to get their stuff going.
I will say this, like so when Joe, Jason, Dane and I are on the call, I did do a quick search of other states' pages, and none of them have anything like
No.
this at all.
I was supposed to be doing this for the Mises caucus, and then I
Yeah.
stopped. So you guys are getting what I was going to do for them before they get it.
Well, thank you.
Sweet.
Gotta love it.
Their losses are
But yeah,
mine.
so we're gonna, Jason and I will continue figuring out what code we're gonna use in here and get the display port settings and all of that garbage set right so it works right on the site. And then what we'll be able to do, like we were talking about, we'll have the public access one that'll be out there on the site, but then we'll also have pages for members only, and that'll be accessed again through the website. They'll just log into the site, and that will give them access to those particular pages. It's just something that we'll send out as part of the, welcome membership stuff.
Right.
Yep.
So do we need any motion
I don't
for
think so.
action
Yes,
on
I
this?
do want to
right
make a
now?
motion.
Okay.
So the motion would be for LPME to purchase 2 ChatGPT licenses at the cost of $25 per license, one to be used for development and one to be used for actual resources. So that'd be the website, everything else.
So is that 25 per
Yep,
GPT per month or per year?
per month. So
Okay,
it's $50
gotcha.
per month.
Okay,
We have a motion.
seconded.
Oh
Okay.
man, she beat me to it.
Joe, you can have it. You can have it, Joe. You can have it.
So again, to be clear, so this is 25 a month, so we're looking at 300 a year.
50 a month, so 600 a year.
600, okay. Oh, well, two
Obvious,
licenses.
and
yeah.
obviously, if
Yeah.
we're
So
not
one-
getting,
the
if we're
reason
not
why it's 2
using,
seats, just for clarification, one seat's going to be used basically to create new stuff. That's what it's going to be used for primarily. The other one is going to be used only to be linked to websites, to whatever else. So that way, it's not like I'm in the middle of tweaking a GPT when someone's pinging it. I can be on one account working on it, telling the GPT, hey, you're shut down, and so I'm done. While someone else using the other account is pinging other GPTs so they still get the data that they want.
Now, does that does that limit, like, if any of us log into GPT app, does that? And then someone, like, if all of us are on the GPT app and using one of these GPTs, does
Mhm.
that, does that
No, no,
take
no.
one of those seats, or, okay,
Yeah, so what will happen is that when you create a seat, it has to be linked to a specific like an email address. So one will be linked, let's say, to treasurer@LPME, the other one will be to whatever other email address. And the one that everyone else would be using would be the other address, and the treasurer@LPME will be the one that I'm using to keep working on new GPTs.
okay,
Okay.
Then the way that ChatGPT works, you can be logged in, I believe, 12 different devices at the same time. So Dane, you could be using it at the same time, Kate's using it at the
Right.
same time that Joe's using it. And unless you're like typing the same exact second, it'll process each one of your individual queries and give you answers.
Okay,
awesome,
cool.
cool.
The
So
query
we-
is what you're getting banged for. It's not for the process time like a
Yeah.
lot of things.
Right.
It's the individual query. It's
Okay.
like everything else.
Yeah.
Jason, what did you call them? To get to what?
Seats,
For 2 custom GPTs.
Okay.
Which is essentially licenses and everything he spoke of right there. All right.
Yep.
Overall, I say that $600 is good investment in our future.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely,
So you guys,
it's
again, since it's
almost-
$25 a month, the idea would be that, let's say we want to create 25 more seats for 25 members. We would say, okay, if you want access to these GPTs, you have to pay $30 a month. So we basically pay for the seat plus we gain $5. But if you want these extra GPTs, it's $35, but it's still the $25 cost for us, but we're getting more funding because they have access to more GPTs. So you can limit what GPTs are accessible to each account. So if Dane signs up as a $35 a month member, Joe tells me, hey, Dane's a $35 a month member. He gets access to these GPTs. I create his account, give him access to those GPTs. And then Kate signs up and she's a $60 a month member. Well, Joe tells me, hey, Kate's a $60 member. She has access to all these extra GPTs. I create an account for her with that seat and she gets the access to all the other GPTs.
Yeah,
And
gotcha.
but the cost for us remains the same no matter who's paying for it.
Yes, yes.
sweet,
It
Brilliant.
ends up
Good.
being more like an access control list as opposed to, you needing to log in to use the system.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Sounds to me like we're all on board with this, so I'm just gonna call the question. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No one's opposed? There we go, the ayes have it.
Thanks for your time.
And
Okay, well,
thank you for your
Thursday.
time and what you've put together. This is fascinating. And I keep telling myself once I get, off the road, I might want to dedicate myself more to the AI world, but and then more work comes up and you never get to it. So I'm fascinated by this in
Yeah,
a
since
big
this is
way.
passed, tomorrow morning, since I have the access to our account, I'll create the 2 accounts. I'll put the login credentials in the spreadsheet and let you guys know that they're up and running. And tomorrow you guys will have access to these and can start using them if you want to.
Nice.
that's sweet.
Very good. Thanks again, Jason.
Cool.
All right, we're going to table the candidate handbook.
Yep.
Yep, and go right to any other new business we want to talk about. We already talked about a lot here today.
Yeah. Did Pat ever end up getting back to anybody?
No, I was just going to mention that he never got back to me. So we've been through a lot tonight. If he does get back to me, I'll reach out to you. In fact, I'm going to withhold saying more until after adjournment.
Okay.
And with that, nothing else to do. I will
We
motion
have
to.
to
No,
set,
this is just this. That was
Okay.
for I was writing it down for me. Sorry.
okay, all right,
Okay. All right. I'm going to motion to adjourn.
I will second that.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Didn't think so. Okay.